friends, it's Kim Odekoven, KRO Designs, obviously here on YouTube. Of course, you can follow me over on Instagram if you want to. Today, we're working on a project that is a folded accordion pocket. Now, I've got one here in pocket, and I will show you how to do this one at the end. It's a slightly different process, but it only uses one piece of paper, so you can make this folded accordion pocket with the Mommy Lhey Fabulous April kit if you've got any pattern paper left. But today I'm going to show you also how to make a B6 same deal accordion style pocket with a flap and an open so you can put your goodies inside if you want to. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how it's done. Well, first of all, you're going to go ahead and go to a certain download link. It's called bit.ly/B6 templates. It was the same folder as I put in the other B6 templates for folding, putting your B6 together last month. And so I thought I'd just go ahead and use the same drop box as well. So you'll find this here. It is a PDF, and you just want to print it off. Actual size. It should print exactly the size of a piece of paper, and I've got the instructions written and also the template that you'll be needing. So if we read the template carefully, it says place this on top of 2 pattern papers with the right sides facing together. So just so you know, you can also use template plastic, you could use vellum, you could use tracing paper, although it doesn't hold up nearly as nicely. But I'm going to do one side acetate and one side pattern paper. And yes, I did print this incorrectly, but I think it looks fabulous. But here is the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down and then put this one on top. And this one doesn't really have a right or a wrong side. I just want the smooth side, and this is the printed side. I want the smooth side on the top. So I'm going to put all of these together in a sandwich. I've got them all ready to go, and you can bulldog clip them, you can wing it and not do anything, but I'm going to go ahead and hyperlapse you guys, and I'm going to cut along the edges of the stack. Alright guys, as you can see, I got this all cut out, and of course I've got these strips. There's a reason why I left the instructions on the outside and left the inside nice and plain, and you'll see why. So those bulldog clips are kind of a pain to move around, but it sure makes things nice and slick when you're cutting them. Alright, so the next thing you're going to do is, as our instructions say, we cut around the paper stack on the solid line. Now we're going to fold the entire paper stack on this dotted line. You're giving yourself a guide on where to place the adhesive. And so if you did it right and things line up, this should be almost perfectly on the seam. And that works for me just fine. And it doesn't really matter which way. You can go both ways too if you want, if it bothers you that there's one way. What you want to do is just make sure that it's nice and folded, so that's where your elastic will be. Alright, so now I've got my acetate folded right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to adhere the 2 pieces of paper together on the left side of this line. Now I like to use this thin line, 1/8 of an inch. It's kind of like American Crafts red line tape, but it tears instead of cuts, so it's super slick. It's called, oh, hold on a second. Sometimes it's hard to craft and talk at the same time. Alright, this tape that I just used is called Skor tape, S-K-O-R, and it's my favorite adhesive for crafting. It's like Michael's red line tape, but it does tear instead of cutting, so it makes it crafting even more convenient than it already is. And so now I'm just taking off the sticky back adhesive, lining again up lining everything up, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and now you are adhering the sides together here. So you're creating a pocket. So this will be our pocket closure one. where we can put, let's say, change or anything you want. That would be on this side. And this other side, we're going to do an accordion fold. And don't forget, don't throw this out. This is where this is going to come in handy. The next step is, once you have that all squared away, you're going to go ahead and cut on this dotted line. And then you're going to fold this way across here in 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to go ahead and do it with my bone folder, but you certainly can make marks with a ruler. If you did 3/4 of an inch all the way along and then drew the lines, I'm just going to go ahead and get my Martha Stewart scoring sheet out and get her done real quick. Them both scored here. I'm just going to go ahead and accordion fold them, which means you go back and forth. And you can see that I cut through the paper. I pushed too hard on my scoring. It doesn't matter at all. If it really bothered me, I can go ahead and reprint. And again, this does not have to be perfect. This is just going to give you that extra space in your planner to have receipts, and that is one of the things I'm going to be using it for in my pocket notebook. All right, we have our 2 accordions finished, and we're going to go ahead and adhere them onto our sides on the inside between the 2 pieces of paper. I'm going to go ahead and do this and put you on hyperlapse. I like to use my favorite glue stick ever. It's called Craft Bond by Elmer's. It is really slick. It works super well, and I enjoy it for things like this where you just want to go ahead and slap it on and get her done. All right, now that I've got the accordions adhered, it's a super fun way to do it. Just make sure that you didn't glue all the accordions together. Make sure you can open them freely. And now here's your choice. You can go ahead and use some extra pattern paper or packaging. I like to use that as dividers in here. All you do is go ahead and slip them in. Just cut it the same size as one of those sides and slip it in, and it should work perfectly. If you have a little overlap of your accordions on the top, that's just fine. It's not going to bother me whatsoever if you just take a pair of scissors and snip. I've had to do that before if my gluing isn't absolutely perfect, but in this time it is. So now what we're going to do is we've got this side open and we have this side. I'm going to leave this side open. On this side, however, I am planning to put a flap in just in case I wanted to put some change in there. So I have some extra pattern paper lying around, and I'm just going to go ahead and put some pattern paper on there. I have in the past used doilies. I love these iridescent doilies from Martha Stewart, but in this instance, like what I did here, I wanted to put some extra reinforcement, so I put this doily on the side for the snap closure. You don't have to use snaps. You can always use Velcro, or in this instance over here with this B6, all I did was cut a slit in the paper into like a half moon shape, and that way that tip of that paper just slides right in there, and then you have a closure. So closures are all dependent on what you want to do, but I'm going to just go ahead and put a closure on here, and I'm going to put you on fast forward, and then I will show you how to install it into your notebook. All right, as you can see, I've installed my flap, and I wanted to make sure the pattern side was out. I really don't care what the inside looks like, but obviously you can print on the back side of your cardstock or your paper if you'd like. And I also thought of another way. I am in love with this wonderful washi from Mommy Lhey from her April kit, and I thought that would be a perfect way to have a closure on the edge of my B6 accordion fold pocket. So all you do is insert it underneath an elastic, or in this case, I have a rubber band holding it together, and there you go. You have a pocket side on this side, and it folds just perfectly in your B6, lines up with all of your inserts, as you can see, no overhang. It is absolutely wonderful. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope to see you next time on my channel. Thanks guys, bye. So I did have an 8.5 by 11 sheet left over from the April kit, and all you do is in the 4 quadrants, it's just 3.5 by 5.5 quadrants, which is the size of a pocket, and then the extra ones are flaps. So I just got rid of one of the flaps and cut in from the side to the middle between the upper and lower sections of 3.5 by 5. I hope that makes sense for you. Then I did take an extra piece of 8.5 by 11 copy paper, and I did it 3/4 of an inch. Yet again, I did the accordion folds for the other side. I did mess up a couple times, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, by the time you end up folding it and putting it in your planner, no one would ever know that you messed up. So I did have like an 1/8 of an inch overhang. So I did use a pair of scissors and I just snipped it off, and it worked just fine. Then I wanted to make sure that they were adhered down and then they opened freely. So just like I did in the example before, I did round the edges on this flap, and I did use my eyelet snap pliers that I did purchase. I think they were like $9.99 at Hobby Lobby, and it really does come in handy. It does add just a significant amount of bulk, but if you're like me and don't really care about the bulk, you can just go ahead and use your snaps. And the instructions are on the back of the pliers, and I don't throw that out because you will need them because you don't snap every day. So then I just put my marker on the back of that one eyelet so I knew where to have the next snap to be, and then it worked out perfect. And then all you have to do is find some packaging, which I used from the Mommy Lhey April kit, and I cut it to size and made sure it fit in the pocket and as dividers. And it works out really well for me. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you do have any questions about how to make the pocket size one, feel free to leave the comments or questions below. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Take care, guys. Bye.